The Trump administration is cutting the Education Department's workforce in half. Education Secretary Linda McMahon announced the move Tuesday, reducing the agency's staff to about 2,100 workers. Most employees were fired, while about 250 accepted offers for deferred resignation. The Department of Education was created during the Carter administration, and it's responsible for distributing student loans, funding special needs programs, supporting students living in poverty, providing research on national education, and enforcing civil rights laws. At the White House Wednesday, President Trump defended his plans to dismantle the agency.
We're going to move the Department of Education, we're going to move education into the states so that the states, instead of bureaucrats working in Washington, so that the states can run education. I believe they'll be as good as any. Now, then you're going to have 10 that won't be so great. You're going to have 5 that will not be good at all, but we'll work with them and we'll get them to be good.
Arne Duncan joins me now. He served as Secretary of Education from 2009 to 2015 under former President Obama. He's also managing director at the investment firm Emerson Collective. Thank you so much, Secretary, for being here. What do you see as the long-term impacts of these cuts?
Just a very concerning and disheartening time. There's so much that's disingenuous here. This thing of moving things back to the states. As you know, 90% of the funding for K-12 education is already at the state and local level. The federal role is small, and it's important to understand what the federal role is, and you captured it very well in that slide. It's basically additional resources for our nation's most vulnerable children. Children with special needs, 7.5 million. Rural children, almost 10 million. Children who live below the poverty line, 6.6 million students who go to college on Pell Grants, and that's who we support. And any attempt to take away resources from our nation's most vulnerable children who desperately need a great education, to have a chance in life, to have a chance to enter the mainstream society, to have a middle-class life, would be just morally and educationally bankrupt, quite frankly.
Let's go ahead and say what Education Secretary Linda McMahon is suggesting. So the Justice Department could oversee civil rights enforcement in schools. The Health and Human Services Department could work with disabled students. President Trump said the Treasury could oversee student loans, the Treasury Department. What do you make of the idea to distribute responsibilities across different areas in the administration?
Yeah, a couple of thoughts. First of all, that's a bureaucratic nightmare. And what we tried to set up was state desks so that states had questions on anything. They had one phone number to call and be able to work with us and have great customer service. And secondly, for me, like, education should be the ultimate bipartisan or nonpartisan issue. There's nothing political about helping kids get a great education and learn how to read. There's not a single thing President Trump has done yet, not a single thing that will help an additional child learn how to read better or faster. And you saw the recent NAEP scores. None of us should be proud of them. We have a long way to go. All of our collective focus should be helping a generation of kids catch up who are already behind before COVID and came out of COVID even further behind. Just moving bureaucratic pieces to different places makes it much more complicated. The final thing I'll say is that they've really gutted the Office of Federal Student Aid, FSA. They're the ones that administer billions and billions of dollars of grants and loans for college. As young people start to go to college this fall, I desperately hope this doesn't happen. But if there's a big problem there for young people having the chance to go to college because their financial aid is screwed up, unfortunately, the Trump administration is going to own that.
What's morale like right now within the department?
It's unimaginable. Those are my peers. I always said the career service there. Those people made me and my team better. These are lifelong educators, passionate about public education, wanting to make a difference in young people's lives. And somehow, it's just sort of staggering what Trump has done in a couple of weeks. He's made public servants the enemy. He's made an enemy out of our closest, ally, Canada. He's tanked the stock market. It's like, who asked for this? Who voted for this? And the final thing is, if you poll the American public, 2/3 of the American public support the Department of Education. So there's no, consensus here. He's doing things that are extraordinarily destructive. And the hard question we all have to ask is why and who benefits.
Well, Arne Duncan, thank you for your thoughts.
Thank you.